Coming off of a 3-game winning streak, and then you lose to the Rams, a team that's beaten and battered up. Just got a quarterback about 48 hours before our game on Thursday Night Football, and you go out there and you lose to them in a terrible last-minute fashion. We're talking about our offense looked like garbage. The play calling, I don't know what had happened, but the play calling was garbage. Our RB1 is getting banged up. Getting banged up in a loss like that, and we still sacrificed him on a lot of those plays to where we could have either passed it or has Amir White run it, just risking way too much, man. And you talk about the simple fact that we have yet to hear from our superstar wide receiver since the loss. Usually we hear from him right after the game, man. But we're going to talk about this and jump into it a little bit more depth. Don't forget to hit that like button. Go rate that like button. Hit subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. Let's get into it. Let me keep it real, man. I have not been feeling good. I think I have a little sinus thing. Been working nonstop ever since I went to the game. Ever since the Black Friday sale, it has been nonstop over here. You understand me? But I'm still dropping the content, bringing it to y'all, man. But at the end of the day, we're here to talk Raiders football, and we're talking about Davante Adams and Derek Carr relationship because I've been seeing some things on Twitter, and I also checked out Wi-Fi Willie. Shout out to him if y'all don't go tap in with him. I know some people feeling different. But he has some good information. Levi Damien put out a tweet talking about how Davante Adams actually didn't talk after this game. He didn't come out after this game, which he usually does. You'll see him in the locker room, and that's when they'll actually ask him questions. Or sometimes, rarely, he'll come out to the podium after the game. But usually he's in the locker room, at his locker, and then we'll get some questioning. But this time we haven't heard from him. Haven't heard from him at all, actually, since Thursday night. And we're going on Saturday already. Today is Saturday with this being recorded. And it's going to be a long week. It's going to be a long week for us Raider fans because we love to get more Raiders football. We're talking about Sunday, then you get another game Thursday. But the downside is that we have to wait a week and a half for another damn game. And not only that, we just lost. So that means it's going to drag out. And there's going to be a lot of chit-chat amongst Raider Nation. But we're here to talk about the fact that there could be some division. There could be some confrontation right there in the locker room. Especially the fact that, like we said, Davante Adams hasn't spoke. Derek Carr's only spoken once, and that was right after the game. And Josh McDaniel's is under some fire for the play calling that he was putting on for the Rams game. Now, one thing I definitely had to say is that Derek Carr had a terrible game. Let me just be frank. He had a terrible game. The defense had a decent game, but at the end of the day, the coaching is ultimately what killed us. The offensive side of the ball and the defensive side of the ball. You got to coach a full game. You got to pitch an entire damn game. And I don't know if there's going to be division amongst the coaches because on the offense, is Josh McDaniel's not trusting Carr? And that right there is causing some type of division because it is going to trickle over to Davante Adams. If you don't get Davante Adams a damn pass in the second half, if you don't get Davante Adams worked into the game plan in the second half of the entire freaking game, and he doesn't have more than 5 catches, which were undefeated when he has more than 5 catches, then there's obviously some type of turmoil going on with the play calling. He is confused when it comes to head coaching and making the plays because I don't think he can handle both of them. Now, one thing I will say is that I like Josh McDaniels because I do think he is a great play caller. But I think when you add in the simple fact that you have to do more than just call plays as a head coach, it's messing his whole game up and it's trickling down to Derek Carr. Let's be honest. And then it's trickling down to Davante Adams because it's clear that Davante Adams is frustrated. It's clear as day. Ever since he's joined the Raiders, he's done things out of character, whether it's going back to the locker room, not speaking to anybody, whether it's going back to the locker room, pushing cameraman or staff of in the arena just to clear the path and go back to the locker room out of frustration. So we're seeing a lot of things out of character in that aspect. But one thing I will say, and one thing that I don't understand is what Derek Carr's play. Now, yes, you could say the play calling is bad, but what makes Derek Carr play bad? It can't be the play calling. Because obviously there's missed open opportunities where there's missed wide receivers that are wide open in the end zone. Seen it with my own eyes live when I'm at the game. And I recorded it myself. Then you talk about the fact that he's throwing interceptions in the red zone and he not lead the league, but he has the most red zone turnovers in the league since he has joined. Since he has joined the league, he has the most red zone turnovers. And that right there is you can't really put anything on anybody else but Derek Carr when it comes to that statistic. You gotta complete passes. You gotta make a freaking play when it comes to being inside the red zone. And some people I've seen on Twitter talking about some bullshit, saying that, oh, well, Josh Allen this. Bro, do not compare Josh Allen to Derek Carr. Please don't do that. Please do not start comparing Derek Carr to other quarterbacks, because Derek Carr is a good quarterback, but he is not a Josh Allen. He is not a Patrick Mahomes. He is not an Aaron Rodgers. He is nowhere near that. So don't start going down that path. Derek Carr is a good quarterback, but he is not that playmaker, okay? You talk about the simple fact that in the first half, he had 0 touchdowns and 1 interception with Davante Adams on the field, with Josh Jacobs on the field. We were in the red zone 4 times, if I'm not mistaken, in the first half. In the first half. And somehow you don't come away with any touchdowns? That right there doesn't make any sense to me. And the way the interception was thrown was like a rookie. Then you move on and you say, okay, Josh McDaniel's game plan was trash. Yes, in the second half, he should have let Derek Carr air it out. Now, the thing for me is, Derek Carr and Davante Adams have a personal relationship. We knew this before they even came to the team. They would go out to Napa. They would go out to the Bay Area. Davante Adams would come over from the Packers. Derek Carr would come from Vegas, and they meet out there in the Bay Area, and they, get some work in. Shout out to you. More power to you. But one thing I will say, when you got a friend, when you have somebody you're close with, and you're on the same football team, tell me right now that y'all ain't talking to each other. Y'all don't after the games, before the games, even during the games, y'all ain't going to each other, having some conversation, some one-on-ones, and saying, bro, go do this, and I'm going to go do this, and we're going to make this shit happen. How is that not the case? Is Josh McDaniels really reigning on this team and overruling every single thing that they decide to do, that they can't even have a sabbatical relationship between Carr and Adams to where they can go out there on third down and say, this is how we're going to get the first down? Do we not have that in Adams and Carr? Or is Josh McDaniels keeping them divided when it comes to that game plan? Because we've seen it all the time with Rodgers and Adams. Rodgers would take a look at Adams and boom, just like that, they get a first down on a quick little out route, on a quick comeback route. Or he just throw it straight to him on the snap because the corner's playing off coverage and Adams able to catch it, run for 5 yards, make the guy miss, maybe even get 10 potentially. How come we're not able to see this connection between Adams and Carr? Now, yes, Adams had a couple of catches in the first half, but those are acrobatic catches. Those things are just anomalies. Those are exceptions. You don't see that every single time. You're even lucky to get 2 of the kind of catches that Adams had in this game. You're lucky to even see that multiple times in the game. We're talking about a one-handed catch with Jalen Ramsey, one of the best corners, pass interference, a hand on his face mask, and still catches it with one hand. Then you talk about on the sidelines, in between 2 defenders, he's able to catch it and not even show any reaction of having crazy late hands. So we're talking about having the best receiver in the game, and we haven't even touched on the fact that Josh Jacobs is on the field, and that we're running him while he's over there hobbled up. Like, we can't just start passing the ball. Like, we can't get it out wide to Adams. Like, we can't bring this Zamir White. So I feel like this is causing some division amongst the locker room, and we're coming off of a 3-game win streak. And I feel like if we would have lost this game to a different team, maybe in a different fashion, then we'd still have motivation. We wouldn't feel as bad. But it's a simple fact that we should have been whooping on the Rams. We should have blew them out. We should have never been that close, and we should have never lost. And now it's ultimately going to trickle down from Josh McDaniels having his toxic ideology on whether the players should have some type of relationship on the field and be able to have those one-on-one plays, or is it something else? Y'all let me know down in the comments, man, that Josh McDaniels is holding back this relationship between Derek Carr and Davante Adams, because I feel like this should be actually going a lot further than what it is. Also, it could just be Derek Carr. Let me know if you think it's just Derek Carr. He's failed to have 30 touchdowns in a season since 2016, and he's only done it one time in his career, have more than 30 touchdowns in a season. So that right there is very, very concerning in my eyes. You know what I mean? Just a side note, Davante Adams is Davante Adams. He's the best receiver in the league right now. I don't think any Raider fan is going to deny that. The dude is the beast. We have to keep him involved. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think about it. Don't forget to rate that like button, man. Hit the subscribe button if you want to see more videos like this. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Until next time, rate the tape.